If you're a creative feeling overwhelmed now that it's the end of the year, you have a million ideas and don't know where to start, this video is for you. Because let's face it, I want to be a content creator isn't exactly a business plan. I've been using vision boards for the past 3 years. I used it to manifest a dream job, higher paid salary, and my move to New York City. And I'm going to share today the exact 5-step framework to make a vision board that actually works. Plus, 5 hacks you probably never heard of. And make sure you watch all the way till the end because each step builds on the last one. So make sure you catch all the parts to see the full picture so you can finally bring your dreams to life. All right, let's get started. Okay, but first, why exactly a vision board, right? I'm gonna tell you why making a vision board actually works and how it's actually backed by science. A vision board is more than just pretty pictures. It's actually a tool to trick your brain into believing that the dreams you want to achieve are already real. Vision boards can be a powerful representation of your dream life when done in the proper way. It can be a visual aid that can also help in the visualization process as you're working on creating your dream life. A vision board is a summation of goals, ideas, images, and intentions for the year and allows you to visualize your success every single day. Therefore, immersing yourself in this vision visually will help translate it into reality. The most powerful vision boards are the ones that convince your mind that this isn't just on paper, this is actually happening in your life right now. And if the words vision board and manifest don't work for you, just replace that with the word goals. Use this as a goal board for the year because we're basically going to lay out the same exact framework we would use to follow this practically and basically 3D print the life that we want. But don't just take my word for it. This is actually backed by science. Dr. Tara Swart explains in this article that looking at images on a vision board primes the brain to grasp opportunities that may have otherwise gone unnoticed. It's actually called the Tetris effect. Yeah, like the game. Because the repetition of seeing these images over and over again physiologically changes your brain and reduces the fear response that may arise with new challenges. What that means is you're more inclined to take healthy risks and seek out new opportunities by way of exposure. Looking at these images and photos literally creates new neural pathways in your brain, which then turn leads to new behaviors, which will then help you achieve your goals. And I'm gonna give you a real example that I'm sure you've experienced before. Have you ever heard of the cocktail party effect? It's the idea that even in a loud cocktail party with music and conversations, you can actually still make out your name, even if it's called on the opposite side of the room. That's the cocktail party effect. Think about it this way. Your brain takes in a ton of information every single day, and we can't possibly take it all in, right? So the brain basically has selective attention where we choose what we define as valuable or place importance on, and that's what our brain will pay attention to. Like your name is probably one of the most important words, and that's why it's so easy to filter out that word even in a large crowded room. I'll give you another example. Have you ever found that you buy something new, like say you just buy a new red Honda, and then all of a sudden you start noticing there are so many bright red Hondas on the road? Now it starts to appear that everyone has a red Honda. That's literally proof of our selective attention, and what we place importance on, we notice more of. So a vision board is just as important in showing our brains what we find valuable, and what we place importance on will take us in the right directions and the right steps, which will open doors and provide us to be more receptive to opportunities that'll help produce these outcomes and these goals. So now that that's out of the way, let's cover how to actually make a vision board efficiently and also what to avoid, because a lot of people do the wrong things, and this way people look at their vision boards at the end of the year and wonder why it isn't working for them. All right, I know we're really excited, but don't start cutting and pasting just yet, okay? I know setting up the vision boards is the funnest part, but before we get into that, we have to get real about what it is that we want to achieve this year. And that means writing down our goals. And in order to write down our goals, it's also super important we take a look back at this past year and really appreciate what it is that we've accomplished. Okay, sure, maybe you didn't complete some of the goals that you wanted to this year, but I guarantee you probably achieved some goals you didn't even expect that you would. So at this portion, what you should definitely do is go back and, for example, review your old journals, review your old phone screenshots, and this is where you can take a look at the things you've actually achieved this year. When I was looking back at my journals this year, I realized how far I have come. For me, one of the biggest things that I achieved this year was moving to New York City, and I literally have pages here where I was journaling about what my morning would be like when I woke up in New York City and went out and walked around the corner to grab a coffee. And it's crazy that that's literally the day that I am living right now. So going back and remembering the successes and that where you are right now is exactly where you once dreamed of being. Think about that. The career that you have, where you live right now, if you've had a salary increase, there's something that you've achieved this last year that you should also think about. And this is gonna help you with one of our hacks later that I'm gonna mention, so watch out for that. For example, I'm gonna show you here before and after of some of the photos that were on my old vision board that actually came true in real life. And this is just great to go down memory lane and realize that you have achieved so much, and this will just empower you so much as you're thinking about setting your goals. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through that, given yourself a little bit of direction, patting yourself on the back for what you've accomplished, it's time to get to setting some goals. Again, this course today is more specific for content creators, but of course, let's not only make our goals about social media numbers. That's good, but we also want to put goals on there that are things we actually have a little bit more autonomy over. I don't know if you've ever heard of SMART goals. I'll put what SMART goals means right here, but it basically just means setting goals that are quantifiable and achievable and are more focused on what you have control over. But also, when you're setting goals, it's important to set goals that make you just a little bit scared, that take you just past your comfort zone. You want goals that are both attainable and realistic. I love this quote from the book Principles by Ray Dalio when he talks about goals. And he has a whole section on having clear goals, on being clear on your goals. And he says, never rule out a goal because you think it's unattainable. Your job is to find it and have the courage to follow it. And if you limit your goals to what you know you can achieve, you are setting the bar way too low. That has really stuck with me when it comes to setting goals. Mind you, there are so many areas of your life that you can focus on when it comes to goals, but when it comes to content creation specifically, this is definitely a career-centric vision board. So we want to focus on tasks, networking, connections, and of course, creating content. These are my top 3 goals for the year. It's SMART goals based on content and things that I can produce, making improvements to my knowledge about things like thumbnail, content creation, design, and how to get better at making videos. And third is networking, continuing to go to new events, meeting new people, and actually making an effort to meet and connect with other creators. This step is super important because unfortunately, when our goals aren't directly in front of us, we tend to deprioritize them or forget about them until a certain time passes. I know it's happened to me. And then we wonder why we're struggling to achieve our goals. Now, when I talk about being realistic, for example, if you say, I want to make $500,000 from content creation and afford a luxurious penthouse in New York City with a pool and jacuzzi and all that jazz. That's wonderful. And that could definitely be a great goal. But if you're currently making, let's say, $50,000 to $60,000 a year, that might be a really big leap to achieve in just 1 year. Not saying it's not possible, but if you want it to be something that your brain can actually gravitate to, latch onto, and say, yes, this is completely achievable, that's where we have to set a realistic goal and then say, hey, maybe by the end of the year, this is realistic for me, but maybe my 10-year plan could end up in that penthouse that I want to achieve. So where can you realistically see yourself in just 1 year? Every year we can continue to beat this up until you get exactly where you want to be. Okay, next up is going to be actually grab the images. And these images are going to be key when it comes to building your vision board. And I have a few hints and tips, but basically you want to get images that are representations of what you want your life to look like, what you find valuable in your life. And here's where I'm going to give you the first 3 out of 5 hacks for creating a vision board that you've probably never heard of. So here's the right way to build your vision board. First, you're going to want to create a nice, cozy environment. All right. Get a nice tea, get some candle going, just, really make it a vibe, put on some music, really get in the zone. Tea break. Okay, for building the vision board, the first thing I'm gonna do is cover materials. There are quite a few options when it comes to the actual base of your board. You can get a poster board. Those come at like $1 at CVS or Walgreens. I got this cork board, I believe. This is, 17 by 22 inches from Michaels. I'm gonna show you why I prefer having a cork board versus having a poster board. I just think having something that is live, that you can pin things on and kind of change and adjust them as the year rolls around, makes me feel so much more confident that the vision board is going to work, because I get a little bit terrified about. This is something I've had since I was a kid. I remember when I was little, I would collect like these little erasers, like the ones that like smell good, and I would always keep them in a case and like never want to use them. Same thing when I would get a new journal, like I would be kind of like scared of messing it up. I like the opportunity to be able to go in and change things around and the permanence of like gluing things down and not being able to change them, it just doesn't really jive with me. So I like the option to be able to have the cork board and change things around as they go along, because I have found that at the end of the year, I'm not even the same person. I don't even necessarily want the same thing. So I like the option, you know, after quarter 1 or 2, being able to look back and say, actually, you know, let me move this around a little bit, or let me adjust this. And it's kind of living along with you. So that's the first thing you need, some kind of base. Next is you just got to print out some photos. Basically, you can do this online. So as you're grabbing your photos from Pinterest, highly recommend Canva for this point, because you can drag and drop in the photos to the correct size that you want, download them all, and then upload them to either CVS Photos or Walgreens. If you're doing this in the month of December 2024, I actually used this discount code, which I'll put up on the screen. This is not even sponsored, but I'll take a discount code whenever I can take one. And I actually got, I think it was $6 off when I was at checkout at Walgreens. So if you have that, totally recommend it. And I went with the glossy photo type. I got 20 of the 4x4s and 15 of the 4x6s. Oh, and then the two other things I have are just some string, some twine that I'm gonna use to kind of connect everything all together, and then some pins for the board. There was a few different options at Michael's. Any type of pin works. And then also, if you have like any things that are sentimental to you, like any sentimental stickers, or like I have a poster here that I got from my Alchemy hoodie. Here's a cool sticker too that you can add to your poster board. It will just make it way more personalized. Now it's time to get to the fun part. Now there's a 3-part system we're gonna use to divide our vision board. The first part is the actual goals that we want to achieve. Okay, now I'm gonna give you my 5 hacks for actually putting together the vision board. Make sure you watch this section before you grab your Pinterest photos, because it'll help you when selecting the right photos to make sure that this will work for your vision board. Hack number 1, to actually believe that you can achieve what's on this board. An insane hack that I recommend is put something on your vision board that you've already manifested. Put a goal on your vision board that you've already achieved, because a lot of the times we don't believe it until we see it, right? And we see all these photos on the vision board of things we still haven't achieved, and it can be hard to connect the dots. But if you infuse the vision board with parts of yourself and things you've already achieved, bonus points if it's something you really wanted at some point, or something you wanted for years that you finally got, that'll really help bring out the emotions of, yes, it's easy to achieve, I have done it in the past, and I can do it again. It'll help with the belief system for the other items as well. And not everything will feel so out of reach, right? So say you really want to hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. Well, you already hit 500 followers on Instagram, so why can't you hit 10,000? So I would print and put that out here. Or say you really want to be reposted on your dream brand collaboration story or on their page. Have you already been reposted by another brand? Have you already had a brand collaboration you can put a photo of and say, hey, I have already achieved this. I have already done a brand collaboration. Therefore, it's not that far off to believe that my dream brand is something that I can definitely achieve this year. I'm gonna show you a few ones of things that I already achieved. One was I was in Vogue Austin. It says Rising Stars Meet Heather and Jacob Felice. This is when we were actually in Vogue Austin as upcoming rising content creators. I also have a second TikTok and Instagram channel where we make couple content. Another one that I have here is me with my Alchemy hoodie, this green hoodie. If you didn't see just the last video that I posted on ranking different hoodies, I wanted this green Alchemy bonsai tree hoodie so bad for years, and I never thought I'd get the opportunity to actually have it. And so I did. I actually went to the pop-up shop and I got literally the only green tree bonsai hoodie there. And yeah, that's something I had dreamt of, and I finally did do it when it almost seemed impossible because they were never gonna sell them again. So that was exciting. And then I put, I was reposted by the brand Zoa Energy. I love their energy drinks, and I was doing a restock in my fridge. I have less than 1,000 followers and they still liked, commented, and favorited my video. So that is just a step in the right direction. You're never too far away. As long as you tag these brands consistently, there's definitely an opportunity that you can work with them, especially if you show your loyalty to them. So this is just a reminder to me that if it's something I already love, continue to post about it. So these are things I've already achieved. as an example that are just going to be super helpful when I'm looking ahead. Then when you look at your vision board, you'll see this is rooted in actual reality. This isn't so out of reach. This isn't so out of touch. Okay, this is hack number 2. Hack number 2 is to actually choose point of view photos. So for example, say you want to be invited on an influencer trip on a yacht or something like that. Instead of just putting a photo of like a yacht in, you know, a nice ocean water, instead, what would it look like from your perspective? Instead, make it a POV shot of somebody actually on the boat itself looking out onto the water. For example, if you were taking the photo on your phone itself, what would that look like? So that's kind of what a POV shot looks like. A lot of times you've seen this in like a car, for example. Don't just put a photo, if you're looking for a car, don't just put a photo of a car, put a photo of you driving in the driver's seat, looking at the steering wheel, kind of that perspective that you would actually see. Bonus points if you can actually take these photos yourself. Like for example, one that I did here, and this is a stretch, but whatever. I actually went to Times Square, and you know, one day I would like to be on a Times Square billboard. So I took a photo of myself in what would be in front of a billboard and just kind of like Photoshop myself there. I would be taking a photo in front of the billboard instead of just the billboard. So that's a good example. And then these, I would be looking at my computer, putting in work, you know, answering emails, environment, nice coffee shop, actually doing work from my perspective. Step 2 in the process is the actual action steps that we're going to use in order to achieve vision number 1. All right, these are the action steps you're going to take. This is the POV shots. Another really important one is I included a ton of quotes, you know, affirmations, for example. Affirmations can make a big difference because sometimes this also means focusing on your weaknesses. What do you not feel comfortable with? Are you not that comfortable in front of a camera right now? Maybe the affirmations that you choose to write down are, I'm so comfortable in front of a camera. I'm my most authentic self whenever I'm making content. So you can also focus on things that you want to improve upon and affirmations that you want to continue to say to get better at creating content. Sure, you look at your weaknesses, what you want to improve upon, because one thing I know is if you want to get to the next level, you're not going to be able to do that at the current state that you're in right now, because you can only achieve what you know right now. You need to make more connections and take in more knowledge and practice more frequently, even making content, right? To get better at all of these things. It's basically a growing pain. When you say that you want something, right? The universe, God, what have you, it's gonna give it to you, but you need to level up in order to receive. So for example, I'm gonna give you a huge example that I needed to learn at this level. One of them for me was making content that is actually genuine to me, that makes the community I want to build. For example, I made this video series where it was me going to different New York City rooftops, and I realized from making that content, I wasn't bringing in the type of audience that I wanted to, because that video wasn't really authentic to me. It was a little bit deceptive, and it also wasn't bringing in the female audience, and it wasn't content that was helping empower anybody. I learned from that piece of content, and I'm really happy that I learned at a smaller level than making that mistake at when I'm already a big content creator. Another example of this is criticism. When you're a content creator and you first start posting, you will receive a lot of criticism. Sometimes Instagram's the worst. I'm so happy that I made mistakes in my content creation journey where I learned from the feedback. For example, giving credit where it's due. If you did get an idea from someone else, making sure to credit them for it, because you will be called out. You want to learn these lessons now when you're smaller than when you're a bigger content creator, right? So these are things that I'm so happy I'm learning these lessons as I'm a micro influencer before I move up. Another thing I learned is you have to learn to brush off criticism. You're gonna get people that are gonna comment saying that your stuff's a flop. You're gonna get people that unfollow you because they don't like when you post, you know? And these are all things that you need to look at as blessings, because at least you're growing the audience you want and not the audience you don't want. For example, if you have this comment from a hater, and believe me, it's happened to me, where you just keep thinking about that comment in your head for the next day, and the next day you're like, I cannot believe they said that. I can't believe they said that about my video, right? You're letting that like negativity live inside you, instead of focusing on the good comments. I'm sure you had a ton of good comments. Even if you didn't have good comments, say you only had one negative comment. When you get bigger, the likes and comments are going to continue to grow. And if you can't brush off a single negative comment now, when you get a lot bigger, you're not going to be able to handle it, right? So that's where, these are all examples of areas where I've learned and grown, even in these just past 3 months of posting more content. So that's what I mean when I say that you need to level up to the person you want to be. Write down affirmations that are going to help you. For example, I create content that's authentic to me. I'm forming an audience of people that actually enjoy my content. So those are just things to think about when it comes to the affirmation. And I know we don't like change, but just know that change is going to come with chaos, triggers, turmoil. Triggers are great because they show you where it is that you need to improve upon. So think about that. Think about where you're getting triggered by something or someone. And then vision 3, this is the bottom section. This is all parts of you. This is where we put the other hobbies that we enjoy and love doing. This is where you infuse that part of yourself into the vision board. And that's what connects it all together. My 4th hack, this one is the ladder of believability. This one is huge. I want to say I got this from either Catherine Zankina, Manifestation Babe. I think I got it from her podcast where she says, you know, if you want to make, let's say you currently make like $3,000 a month and you want to make $10,000 a month, specifically from content creation, right? It's hard to believe that you can jump from 3,000 to 10,000 when you've never seen it before, right? You've never actually achieved it in real life. So it's hard for your brain to believe it. This is the ladder of believability. So I put make $500 a month from content creation, make $2,000 a month from content creation, make $5,000 a month from content creation. And each one is a step up the ladder that as we're achieving it, we can cross it off. We can see it on the board that, hey, we've accomplished that, we've done it. So using a ladder of believability will help you when you're coming to achieving your goals because you're taking the baby steps needed to get there. And it doesn't seem like such a huge jump. Same thing with followers, right? I have one for 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 50, and 100,000. And also on this step, we're thinking about the identity, right? The identity of being a full-time content creator, YouTuber, TikToker, influencer. I know those words can sound a little bit cringy. Believe me, it was super cringy when I was, going into rooms with other content creators and they asked me, who are you? And I needed to say again and again, I'm a content creator. Whatever word you want to use to describe yourself, you don't run with it, believe in it. And start using it. When someone else asks you, what do you do? Take on the identity, start answering. Don't say, I kind of do content. Like I kind of do post TikToks here and there. Like take 2025 as the year that you're gonna start owning the identity of being a content creator. When someone asks you what you do, say, I'm a content creator and that's what you do. Or I'm a TikToker, I'm a YouTuber, or I'm an influencer. You have to take on that identity, because if you doubt yourself, others are gonna doubt you too. But if you own it, if you own that identity, others are gonna respect that. You need to step into the new you. So take a moment to determine who that person is because you don't see it first and then you believe it. You believe it first and then you see it. Section 5, review the content daily. And not just review the content, like look at it, feel it daily. You've just set the foundation for your most effective vision board yet by reflecting, by setting goals, and gathering meaningful images. Now at this point, I feel like you're gonna have the question, will my vision board actually work? And I'm gonna tell you something. Do you know why vision boards work for some people and it doesn't for others? Do you know why journaling works for some people and it doesn't for others? Do you know why scripting or the 4x4 method, meditation, do you know why sometimes it works for some people and not for others? The difference is if you believe that it'll work. Literally the only difference. So if you believe that this is gonna work and you look at it every day and you have that feeling of pride and achievement when you look at your vision board, instead of looking at it as something super distant from you that you'll never be able to achieve, then yes, your vision board has to 100% work. And because you've infused parts of yourself, what you've already achieved, and you're also using the ladder of believability. So if you're asking me if the vision board's gonna work, that's up to you. Do you believe it? Will you look at this every single day? When you look at your goals and review them every day, it'll work when you believe it will. We've divided this vision board into hacks and strategies to make sure that your vision board doesn't just look good, but it'll actually transform your life. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you subscribe and stick around. Let me know if you liked this style of video and if you want to see more. If you're a content creator too, I wish you good luck in 2025. Please comment down below your top 3 goals and what it is that you want to achieve so we can all hold each other accountable in the year 2025.
When you make your vision board, please tag me at HeatherMaldonado_ on Instagram. I would love to see and share all your creations. Good luck, bye.